Hello everyone, welcome to Module 10, Developing a COVID-19 Control Culture. We will discuss in this module what is COVID culture, what is important, and how to get started in developing a COVID-19 culture. Having a point person in charge of COVID-19 response is a great idea, but it's not only their job to contribute to a COVID-19 culture. Culture is built from top down. So what is COVID culture? As you know, culture is your company internal compass. It's a collection of knowledge, attitudes, and behaviors adopted by managers and employees. COVID culture will encompass practices and attitudes related to mitigating and reducing the risk of COVID-19. Ideally, this also includes effective community engagement, public health communication to help reduce the collective risk of transmission. A good way to evaluate culture is to think about what practices you or your employees adopt when no one is watching. A facility's COVID culture is influenced by many sources. It's a cross-functional concept. So to develop a strong COVID-19 culture, your facility will need a structured, long-term plan in place, and this plan should be included measurable objectives and progressive goals to continuously increase COVID-19 awareness. These goals may also change over time due to emergent information, and having a good COVID culture will help your team adapt to changes more effectively. And as I mentioned before, it starts at the top level, which is you. Are you following proper hand washing SOPs? Do you wear your face mask covering nose and mouth? Have you noticed people using the face covering incorrectly? Ensure you as a leader are walking the walk, setting a good example for employees to follow. Emphasize and demonstrate a strong commitment and awareness of the prevention of the virus, enforcing good behavior, rules, and protocols. We have been working on developing mitigation control strategies for about a year. Based on scientific facts, this is the only way of protecting ourselves and others from the virus. You have the most important role in your organization to help develop, maintain, and enforce a COVID culture. Next point, the why. It's not enough just to tell employees what they need to do. For example, just telling them to use face covering, stay 6 feet apart, or wash their hands. It is imperative to explain why it's so important to follow the CDC guidelines inside or outside the job site to help minimize the spread of the virus to their co-workers and family members. Explain the why of things, like the usage of face coverings correctly to reduce the airborne transmission. Stay 6 feet apart, which is the safe distance to lower the risk of airborne droplets, and why it's so important to wash your hands frequently, at least for 20 seconds, with plenty water and soap. Also explain the different scenarios following the decision tree. For example, an asymptomatic situation. If you know you were exposed to a person that tested positive, but you don't present any symptoms, you might be carrying the COVID-19 virus, and it can expose others without knowing. Also, we need to explain why now we have protocols in place before entering to the job site, like symptoms check, so they understand the reasoning behind the rules and why we'll be more likely and willing to comply. This is where training and consistent communication from the management team becomes critical. Providing training to workers is an important tool that will help you to create awareness at your food facility. Remember that training should be from a credible source and it should be consistent across the entire organization. It will not only help you to enforce the COVID-19 culture, but it also helps you to show your leadership. The Institute of Food Safety at Cornell University has free training videos available in English and Spanish. Currently, we have 2 videos available. The first one is a general education about COVID-19, This training is available in a format for closed-circuit system. For example, you can play this information in your food facility's TV all day long. And the second one is a COVID-19 training for food facilities, which is an ongoing education and provides information about the virus. And after completing the knowledge check, you can receive a certificate. Also, the CDC webpage contains posters and graphs you can use for training in a variety of languages. Ensure the training is easy to understand by all and avoid language barriers. Highlight how it affects their lives inside or outside of their job. That will help to create awareness if procedures are not followed correctly. It is very important to provide an updated information about the virus, the changes, the statistics of the virus around your community, so everybody is informed of the situation in real time. Now, the Institute for Food Safety at Cornell University has the Coronavirus Boosters, a monthly platform on YouTube with the most updated statistics and the most updated information about the virus in your area. Another key component for a strong COVID control culture is supplying employees with adequate and available personal protective equipment. Though this was challenging during the onset of the pandemic, it remains to be a crucial component to the culture. Provide all the resources they might need during their shift. Always have available facial coverings, gloves, if that apply, hand washing facilities with suitable water, proper soap, disposable paper towels, and hand sanitizer. In addition to PPE, there also may be tools that will help employees to do their jobs more effectively while wearing a face covering. For example, headsets with microphones to help employees to hear each other while wearing face coverings in loud environments. The pandemic has been challenging for people both inside and outside of work. Check with your employees how they're doing, physically and mentally. It might be helpful to dig deeper to make sure they are okay at work and outside of work. For example, employees might need help accessing to face coverings or, at this stage of the pandemic, transportation to get vaccinated. Evaluate company's values and create empathy. Employee has very different circumstances, and it is important to show them compassion. For example, a small gesture like a short call or an email to ask how they're doing, or even asking them if there is anything you can do to help them, it will make the difference. As vaccinations become available, consider getting vaccinated for your own protection as well as the protection of your family, your community, and workplace. All COVID-19 vaccines currently available in the United States have been shown to be safe and effective at preventing COVID-19. People who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 should keep taking precautions in public places, like wearing a face mask, staying 6 feet apart from others, avoiding crowds and poorly ventilated places, and washing your hands often. People are not considered fully vaccinated until 2 weeks after their second dose or 2 weeks after a single dose from Johnson & Johnson vaccine. You should keep using all the tools available to protect yourself and others until you are fully vaccinated. COVID-19 vaccination is a safer way to protect and build protection. Stopping a pandemic requires the usage of all the tools we have available. COVID control culture is essential to make sure that people who are not vaccinated will wear a mask and keep taking all the control strategies in place. It is important to have a culture that supports employees becoming vaccinated, since it is the key COVID control strategy. However, it is also important that companies value religious and medical exceptions. A key component to COVID control culture during these changing times is to ensure that people who are not vaccinated continue to wear a mask in order to protect others. Monitor behavior. Emphasize that COVID-19 should be taken seriously every day, including during breaks and especially out of work. Now that awareness is established, we can monitor whether employees are following appropriate protocols or SOPs. Use the verification tools to determine if you are where you want to be, and evaluate if your ideal COVID control culture is being reflected, or what I want to see on my production floor. Provide incentives for certain activities like raffles for the personnel who did get the vaccine. Follow protocol. Every employee should know what to do if they test positive or if they have a contact with somebody positive. Decision 3 is available for you and for them. And stay informed. Always make sure you have reliable sources of information, like the CDC, the Department of Food Safety at Cornell University, or the health department in your state. Remember, a weak company COVID-19 control culture will likely increase the risk of an outbreak of COVID-19. There are many things we still don't know about the virus. You have to focus on a clear message, have good communication, explain the why, and establish the need for a unified company-wide approach to prevent and minimize the spread of COVID-19 in your food facility. Thank you.